football predictions and betting. Clint, I ask you, and the Deep South's oldest rivalry.
Is it a rivalry? People are asking.
People are asking how many years it took Kirby Smart to make it to the national championship game. There's no way to. The thing is, Clint, there's no way to know. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if that's accurate. There's no way to verify that information. We know things. Hugh Freeze maybe doesn't know things.
He doesn't.
But we're going to talk about who's going to win the Georgia Auburn game by how many points, and we're going to give you our locks of the week today on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors, ebaymotors.com. The right part, the right fit, the right price. Get over there right now. We are talking locks. We are getting better. We are learning. This season is upside downs, inverted, upside down world, bananas crazy. And we're learning, we're adjusting to the ridiculousness that is happening in the betting field right now. We're going to give you predictions for Georgia against Auburn.
Yep.
We're going to let you know what we think about it. We're going to let you know the lines, the things to look at, a little sneak peek, not preak. I don't know what preak is.
No, you wouldn't want to sneak preak. I promise you that.
Preakness. We're talking betting. I was
horse race.
Horse racing. And then on Thursday, we're going to come back with Zach Blackerby of Locked On Auburn. We're going to ask him his thoughts.
Locked On Plainsman, I believe is the name of the podcast.
Locked On Eagle Warman. We don't know.
Striped Eagle Warman.
And then on Friday, we're going to give Excited, Nervous, Don't Sleep On. But today, let's start our locks preview talking about Georgia Bulldogs and the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, let's do that.
The line right now, Daniel, is 14.5. You can
14.5.
Some places it's ticked up to that half.
It got down to 14 in the middle of the week. If you were there, and I was there,
your boys were there.
It got down to 14. Right now, the line is 14.5. We're going to give you the line as it stands. The over-under is 47. So let's talk about this game. This is official prediction time. So obviously, we got more to discuss about this game, more things that we think are going to happen, more previews to do. But we're going to do the official prediction here on the Wednesday show. Clint, do you have a lock in this game, first of all, as it relates to the spread or the total?
Daniel, this is really hard for me. Many Georgia fans are just annoyed with the Yankee because Jordan-Hare Stadium still scares me. I'm sorry.
This man wants the game to be close going into the fourth quarter. Like, that's what you said yesterday on the podcast.
I didn't say fourth quarter. I said first drive. I said first drive. I did not say fourth quarter. Don't at me. Jordan-Hare scares me. Daniel, I'm going to be honest. I have memories of 2017.
Man's got some phobias.
I have some phobias. It's just like I think Kentucky it's going to rain every single time we play Kentucky, and it's going to be 16-19.
It bet not rain.
I'll tell you this right now.
Pack a poncho.
There are four other little humans that will not deal with the poncho very well.
It's not gonna be good.
I have a lock.
You do have a lock.
I have a lock in this.
I have a strong lean. You might talk me into a lock if your lock is the same as my lean, but I'm gonna let you go first.
It's not the point spread, Daniel.
I'm not touching the point spread either. So I'm more interested now in your lock because I am also leaning something with the total.
Okay, so tell me that total one more time, Daniel.
It's 47.
Okay, 47 points. Now
47. Start doing some quick maths.
2027 gets you a push. Auburn at home has scored lots of points against two inferior opponents. Last game against A&M, they did not score many points at all because they're awful and horrible at offense. Let's say it's 37-10. That seems reasonable to me.
It's also pushy.
That's pushy though, Daniel, how many points is Auburn going to score against us?
No more than 13. That's what I said yesterday. I'm stick by it.
Okay, I agree. No more than 13, which would mean, quick maths, again, we're talking 34 points for the Bulldogs.
Is Georgia going to hit 35?
I'm nervous about that, Daniel. On the road, true SEC. I am locking in the under on this game.
I'm leaning the under as well.
I don't think Georgia's going to have the firepower that everybody wants to see in this game. I think Carson Beck's going to throw the ball quite a bit. I think we're going to get points. I don't think Auburn's going to score many points, but I can picture 28 points happening very easily. Very easily, 28 points.
I think this could be a 24-9 game. Like, that's my official score prediction right now is 24-9.
It's not my lock of the week, but lock up Georgia and Auburn.
I'm going to lock the under as well.
Go.
You talk me into it. I'll join you. We're both thinking low-scoring game. I just don't know. Like, let's just be honest with what we've seen, Georgia fans. We have not seen, like, this Auburn defense is much better than South Carolina's defense, who we scored 24 points against at home. Georgia has not played another defense, like, at all. UAB's defense, we spent all week last week saying, is actually very bad. The offense,
abysmal.
Not so bad. The defense, very bad. So Georgia's best offensive performance of the season came in a game where we needed to feel good. We said going into that UAB game, UAB is just the team to make your offense feel good. And sure enough, they did.
They did.
I'm not going to read too much into it. I don't think Georgia sniffs the 40s in this game. And I don't think Auburn can score against Georgia. If Peyton Thorne and Robbie Ashford are playing quarterback for Auburn.
Yep.
And best I can tell, those are the guys that Auburn's going to trot out there.
They currently don't have anybody else on the roster.
Then I don't see Auburn scoring in this game. So 24-9.
24-9 is a great prediction. I'm going to go a little bit more than that. I think second half, we're going to have Zach on. I'm going to ask him this question because he gave me a little sneak peek. Texas A&M just wore down Auburn's defense at the second half of the game. First half, it was much closer than the score indicated. It was competitive in there. I actually thought Auburn might have snuck in the back door of that cover when they were driving down the field. And then they just...
You thought Auburn might have snuck on the field when they weren't supposed to be on the field?
Nope, snuck in the back door. No, they're not Jimbo Fisher.
No, they're not. That was Jimbo
They have
Fisher.
Their faculties about them. No, and it's not sneaking. Look, we're not going to sneak in anybody's DMs like some head coaches.
No, we're not interested in doing that.
Not interested in doing a Hugh Freeze on anything.
Nope.
But I really thought they were. I'm going to go. My official prediction is 28. I think we are consistent. I think we hit shots. I think it's a touchdown a quarter. I really do. I think it's as consistent as a game plan as possible. I don't think they're going to be bunches. I think it's a touchdown a quarter, and I think Auburn might get one late touchdown, but I think it's going to be 28-10 is my official prediction.
Nice. All right. So we both have a lock in the game, locking up the under 14.5. A little nervy. We both technically have Georgia covering that spread, but it's just not something we want to be betting on. We have got tons more locks, though, tons more games that we want to talk about. Our lock of the week coming up right after this.
But this is, in fact, DoorDash. DoorDash, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you understand how convenient it is not to go in the grocery store. Because when you go in the grocery store, weird things happen.
All manner of nonsense.
People don't know how to socialize in the world anymore, Dan. Just coming up to you, asking you if they can pet your dog as they have your dog in their hands and they're walking out the store with.
What are you doing with your dog in the grocery store, Clint?
It's not my dog. I'm watching other people, Daniel. My dog could not fit in anybody's arms. He could not do that.
Fresh produce in there. You bringing your dog in there? What are we trying to do?
Let
me tell you my favorite thing about ordering groceries from DoorDash, Clint. Do. When you're walking around the grocery store,
what are you doing?
Buy all kinds of nonsense that you don't need to be buying.
I got 3 bags of baked cheddar things from Trader Joe's that I have no interest
so much money spending things on things you don't need. You order from DoorDash, you put in exactly what you want. It gets delivered straight to your door. You never have to leave your house. You're more productive. You're doing grocery shopping while you're at work. It's a beautiful thing. DoorDash. What can the people do if they want some little free incentives here?
Get 50% off your first order of DoorDash up to $20 value when you use promo code LOCKEDONCollege at checkout. Limited time offer, terms apply. That's 50% off up to $20, no minimum subtotal, and 0 delivery fee on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store. Enter promo code LockedOnCollege. Don't forget, that's code LOCKEDON, 50% off your first order with DoorDash. All right, the locks continue. Let's give the people the lock of the week. It's important to some, more important than others. I'm going to lead out the gate, and I saw this number, Daniel, and
he loves it. I was on the call with him when he first saw the number, and he cackled a little bit.
Not a little bit. I full-heartedly cackled. It is Halloween just around the corner, and I was practicing all manner of scaring children cackle.
Okay.
Who are the top? Give me the top 3 teams in your estimation in college football right now, again, Daniel. Who are the juggernauts in your estimation?
Did you want this is a serious answer?
This is a serious question. I'm asking you, who are the juggernauts in college football? The teams that scare you in college
football. The 3
football.
best teams in college football right now are the University of Georgia.
That's number 1. Good.
The University of Washington.
I'll stop you there. We don't need to go to 3. But
and some other team.
Okay, great. The Washington Huskies are the second best team in all of college football. Bank on it. They will be in the college football playoff. Yep. Bank on it.
Boy, that game in a couple weeks against Oregon. I mean, I am already licking my chops to watch that game. That is just going to be must-see television.
Washington Huskies go down to the Arizona Wildcats. This isn't
cold up and down team.
We're not talking about basketball. We're talking about gridiron. We're talking about
Olson ain't walking through that door.
He's not walking through that door.
He's also deceased.
That was real morbid, real quick. Thank you so much for bringing down the podcast. I appreciate you. All the people, Daniel.
If that really, the fact that Lute Olson passed away many years ago, brings down the podcast, I just don't know what else I can do.
The Huskies are only a 18-point favorite, and I say only 18 because they're the second best team in college football. Their offense is real deal. Penix is a true Heisman contender. If not, I would say front runner. And that if I had a vote,
he is the front runner right now to win.
He would get my vote. Okay, 18 points to Arizona. Real up and down. Another program that doesn't have the talent. 18 points. I know it's on the road, but it's Pac-12. Road is a different. I know it's desert. I know all of that. But now, if this was going up to Pullman or up to Seattle or something like that, okay, I understand. USC doesn't have a home field advantage in the Pac-12. Okay, they just have a really good offense. That's what they have. Lock in the Huskies given 18. Daniel, this is ridiculous. This should be 25 points minimum.
I'm not going to join you because it's not on my card, but I will probably bet this. And the Washington Huskies right now are almost just an instant lay 'em until proven otherwise. Like you're going to have to show me that laying them is a bad idea.
Correct.
With Washington right now. They covered that spread in the first quarter last week against Cal. The first quarter. Are any Auburn fans still listening? Against Cal.
Nope. Cal's a very bad team. Might be worse than Arizona. I'm not totally sure.
Might be better tthan Auburn.
Well, they were 4 points away from proving that.
All right. I'm going to go lock of the week. I'm torn between a couple.
Okay.
I like all. I'm staring at a card of 6 right here, and I like them all.
Pack.
But I got a couple that are real lock of the week contenders. I think I'm gonna go here. I think there's still value to be made on the fact there's still money out there to be made on the fact that Jackson Dart is not a quarterback.
You guys realize
I've been saying this for months and months and months, and it doesn't seem like anyone has ever just wanted to listen to me. He's not a quarterback.
Lane Kiffin, notable non-audience member of the pod.
LSU goes on the road to Oxford. Now, that's not an easy place to play.
It's not. Those white polos scare people.
But that letdown for Ole Miss just coming down off that. This man lost the Super Bowl last week, and now he's supposed to prepare his team for the best team in the SEC West.
Second best team in the SEC.
And and LSU is laying less than a field goal.
2.5.
2.5 points. Give me LSU. Give me them Tigers. Make it my lock of the week on the road, laying the small number.
I would like a half-point credit for this because I am also, it's not my lock of the week because I gave Washington, but the second in contention was LSU given 2.5 to Ole Miss. LSU's got a better defense, better quarterback, better playmakers, and Ole Miss had their absolute guts exposed in the second half of that Alabama game, in which everybody knew, Lane, you are exactly who we thought you were, which is Ryan Day 2.0, which is hard to do because you came before Ryan Day.
Did he also yell at an elderly man for no reason?
Lane Kiffin used his dog's Twitter account was yelling
the
at an
elderly man I'm speaking of
yeah.
Nick Saban.
It's Nick, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The dog was yelling at Nick Saban. It wasn't
Lou
Lane.
Holtz and Nick Saban the same age? People are asking. They are.
I can tell you what.
That they're not far off.
They're not that far off.
You're going LSU minus 2.5. All right, I'm going to give one more. I'm going to give the one that was my other contender here. Listen, this is in no way meant to come across as an insulting statement to anyone.
I don't believe this, by the way.
But Colorado's not good.
He's not trying to poke the bear.
I'm not trying to make a political statement of any kind. They're just not good at playing football.
I'll help him out. I'm actually starting to warm on Deion. There's been a couple of things he said. I'm warming on Deion.
Here's my favorite Barstool Colorado Twitter account, which I don't recommend following any Colorado Twitter account, but happened to come across
your Barstool Twitter account.
Barstool Colorado. There's people out there talking about how coaches are helping Dan Lanning game plan for Colorado. Let me just tell you, Dan Lanning did not any help game planning for Colorado. But all he had to do was tell his defensive linemen, go and kill the quarterback. And that's exactly what they did, because the paper sack playing offensive line for Colorado can't block anyone at any time. And the paper sack playing defensive line can't stop anyone from doing anything. Bear Alexander for USC might have 10 sacks in this game against Colorado. USC is laying 21.5, and I don't care that they struggled with Arizona State last week. I don't care.
It might be that it's a big storyline, actually.
I don't care that it's at Colorado on the road.
The elevation, though.
It's going to be an absolute just beating. And it's not Deion's fault.
No.
That all of this, like you said, I actually have become more pro Deion Sanders than I was. He's not telling the media to make this ridiculous stuff up about his team. But they're not good at football. And the rest of the teams on their schedule are good at football.
And when Deion goes to Florida State next, or to whatever school he goes to next, he's going to carry the same thing. But right now, he's not going to be there long enough to make talent, because there's no talent in Colorado whatsoever. 21.5 points is nothing.
Just lay him. Just lay him for Southern Cal.
We're going to come back after this, give you some more locks. But first, these. And these are the fine folks over at the Jace case, Jace Medical. Go on to Jace Medical. That's JASE medical.com. Fill in a questionnaire. Let them know. They're going to ask you some very, very important questions. You're going to answer some questions, and you're going to get life-saving antibiotics in something called the Jace case, which is fantastic. You can put that. I'm not calling you a camper, little buddy, little buckaroo, little champ. I'm just saying,
little camper.
I'm just saying you could put it into a camper, the thing you haul behind your truck. You could put that into your second vehicle. You put that in your home, at work. Maybe at a cabin if you don't have a trailer and you just would rather get a cabin at the lake.
Maybe you don't even have a cabin. You just put it in somebody else's cabin.
That's fine, because they're going to be helped. You're going to be helped just in the off chance that you're out there. Jace Medical, promo code locked on, $20 off. Use promo code locked on for $20 off. Get yours today at jacemedical.com. How many more you got?
I got 4 more.
Okay, well then go. I give you the floor. I have one more. I have one more, but you know me, Daniel. The card always has
He's
room.
gonna get talked into a little bit here. Okay. Let me take you here first. Let's go Friday night, Clint. It's important to the people. Maybe people listen to this a little bit late. First of all, Utah and Oregon State are playing on Friday night. I'm not touching that game with a 10-foot pole.
But I want to watch that, Daniel.
I can't wait to watch it. Yes, absolutely. Let me talk about the other Friday night game. The other Friday night game is BYU Cincinnati, a Big 12 affair. BYU Cincinnati, which is still weird to me, but Cincinnati is not as bad as I thought they were going to be this year. They're holding their own. They looked decent against Oklahoma last week. More on that in a second. Another one of my locks. But BYU last week played against Kansas, and the final score would indicate to you. I actually had BYU plus 9.5, and so I was very invested in that game. They did not cover in that game. Kansas ended up beating them by 11. But that game was much closer than that the entire way. BYU and Kansas were neck and neck. They were evenly matched teams. If you just watch the game, BYU and Kansas were evenly matched teams. BYU has gone and beaten Arkansas this year, an Arkansas team that we just saw push LSU to the wire. And they are a solid football team. So I'm going to go BYU at home, catching points against Cincinnati. Yes, please lock up BYU +2 on Friday night in Provo against the Bearcats.
Daniel, I'm very intrigued by this game. This was one that I would have a lean. I think Cincinnati is a good team, but it may be a little overreaction for keeping Oklahoma to 20 points. There was a lot of missed points on the field. I think I counted something like 76 points should have been scored in that game.
It was a lot of points.
There was a lot of points. So that's a good one. Give the people your second one, then I'll go. And my imagination, the next 3, you have one that I have a heavy lean on.
Let me just. Texas A&M and Arkansas play close games.
They do.
That's just what these teams do. 23-21, 31-27. Like these are the kinds of scores that you can expect when you have a Texas A&M Arkansas game.
Correct.
Both of these teams have been very hot and cold. We just talked about Arkansas losing to BYU and then pushing LSU to the wire. Texas A&M, we saw them last week. They looked like they were maybe going to blow Auburn out, and then things got weird a little bit, and then they pulled away again late. These are 2 very confusing. Who's going to play quarterback for Texas A&M? It's in Arlington. It's at Jerry World. Every year it feels like these teams play like a really competitive game. And so in a really competitive game, what if I told you that you could have the better quarterback?
That's clearly on A&M, right?
And the team that's catching points in the same package. Arkansas plus 6.5. Yes, please. Against Texas A&M. I will take it. Sam Pittman. I'm not sure they get the win, but I think Arkansas keeps this close.
That's actually a really, really good bet. I did not have that as a lean at all, but yeah, I think Sam Pittman might have found some solutions on the field to some question marks that he had. I really do.
The man's coaching for his job.
That's the solution. He found out that he likes
being employed and making money.
Correct. I do not want to join I don't want to be laying brick by brick, building a foundation of actual bricks.
Yikes.
Okay, Daniel, I'm going to go to a game, and this is based upon principle. I'm going to give some compliments to this team.
Man's a man of principle.
I'm a man of principle. I'm going to give some compliments to a team that I don't like giving compliments to, but it's only because I want to, hate them more later. So more in the year on this.
There we go.
Daniel, Florida's playing some pretty good defense.
Yeah, they sure are.
They're playing some really good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, admittedly, they played Utah without Cam Rising and lost. That was embarrassing.
Badly.
They played some middling other schools, but look, they got some guys that can play
defense, run game. That's what Florida can do.
Okay. Now, what if I were to tell you they're going up against the man, the myth, the legend himself, who does defense, run game?
This man says, "Welcome to my dance floor. This is what I do.
This is what Stoops does at Kentucky all day long."
Yeah.
Okay. And he's got a better quarterback. Graham Mertz, not good.
Correct.
Leary has played better as the season has progressed. Leary's playing better. I didn't say great. I said better than game one. It's in Kentucky. Florida goes on the road again. Kentucky is Daniel a 1-point favorite at home.
They are
against Florida. If you're telling me old Sunbelt Billy is trying to out Stoops, I'm not buying it. And they got the better QB, and it's at home. Give me Kentucky laying the point.
Listen to him. He zagged when he thought he was. You really led us all down a path like you were going to zig.
I did.
And I thought I was going to have to fight you right here on the show because my next lock is Kentucky minus 1.5. I'm joining you.
Come on in.
Kentucky's winning this game against Florida at home. Florida is riding high still off the Tennessee win.
Sure.
But I agree with you. Kentucky, this is the kind of game Kentucky wants to play. Stoops is going to have his guys ready to play in this game. And Kentucky's playing some decent ball. All right, I got one more left, and I don't know why. Okay. Let me tell you some things that I have noticed this college football season.
He's staring into a candle.
Okay. Number one, crazy stuff happens. Clint, tell me when I say something incorrect.
Okay. No, it's been bananas insane. Great. Continue.
Yep. Betting on crazy in college football is almost always a good bet.
Chaos is the victor.
King. Oklahoma has been better than a lot of people expected them to be this year.
Yes, they have.
Oklahoma has looked suspect at times, however. Particularly, is that defense really good? Now, they've looked better, they've played better, but the competition has not been anything. And if you will recall, last year, the Oklahoma defense was one of the single worst units in college football across the board.
It was yikers.
And then there's been some stuff with the Oklahoma offense that they feel a little, they've scored a lot of points, but a lot of those points came week one against, garbage, Sisters of the Poor. They've looked a little discombobulated on offense, I feel like, the last couple of weeks, particularly in that Cincinnati game last week. Now, meanwhile, Iowa State is terrible. They're just terrible.
Matt Campbell can't coach.
They scored 38 points against Oklahoma State last week. Now, that's Oklahoma State. Who's
their quarterback? Who's their quarterback?
Well, many people, including Mike Gundy's son.
He's a real man, though. He can prove it. He sired a child.
Yeah. What have you ever done? And he made him quarterback 1/3 of the time on his team, even though he does not deserve it at all. Iowa State and Oklahoma, maybe it's just some nostalgia. You remember some of those great games, there was the epic upset where Iowa State beat Oklahoma. And maybe I'm just sort of living in this nostalgic wishing for those days. But I'm going to take Iowa State plus 20. Give me 20 points.
That's a lot of points.
Just keep this thing close. 29-10. Come on. I'll take them.
All right, I'm going to tell you that you didn't have on your card what I was anticipating you having. Arizona State plus 12 against Cal is intriguing to me. Cal's bad. Arizona State is not horrible. They had some fight last week. They're not horrible, Daniel. They are bad. So is Cal. They're not awful because they had some fight against USC, which should tell you how bad USC's defense is more than anything else. It should indicate to you that Second game I'm looking at with a lean probably before it kicks off. Clemson is a 7-point dog, or laying points, 7 points to Syracuse. This reeks to high heaven.
The old Carrier Dome. Clemson's going to the Carrier Dome. What could go wrong?
We've seen this play out. Just look to me to sprinkle a little something on a money line.
Oh, boy.
And then lastly, this was the game that I can't do.
He won't do it. Don't try to talk him into it.
But I probably will by the time.
But he's going to do it.
Penn State against Northwestern, 27 points is what they are giving Northwestern. 27. It's in Chicago.
Northwestern won a game last week. How bad is PJ Fleck in that boat rowing?
Real bad, because I placed money on them.
Tough times.
Penn State D is otherworldly. They're real good, guys. I'm intrigued, but that's a lot of points though. 27 points.
A lot of points.
It's a lot of points. I'm intrigued by it. Probably will bet on it. And the lean is Northwestern plus 27.
You ready for the well done parlay?
We got it, folk. Get us out of here with the well done.
Syracuse money line.
Yep.
Boston College -3 against Virginia.
Don't hate that.
South Florida money line at Navy.
I don't hate that.
Navy's bad.
Navy's real bad.
This is where things get weird. Texas -17 at home against Kansas.
I don't like that.
That Texas-Kansas game is one of the most exciting games of the day.
Kansas is a good team. Guys, go look at Kansas. Go get eyeballs on Kansas because they're a good team.
-17?
It's a lot of
Colby?
points.
Come on.
Colby.
Come on. That's the Well Done Brothers parlay. We will be back tomorrow. We got Zach from Locked On Auburn coming on.
Yes, sir.
Send us questions if you've got them. If you want us to ask Zach any questions, send them over to us. Hit us up on the subtext, and we would love to ask Zach your questions about his deplorable school. So we will see you guys tomorrow and the rest of the week on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. See you.